Actor's Choice, where the actors have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting through actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to the Actor's Choice. It's that time again for the NAACP Theater Awards. Take it away.
I think to get on stage and to be live and in the moment, and if you mess up, there's no take two. You just got to go with it. It takes a lot of heart, and I really admire theater actors.
How you doing? I'm Usher.
Hi, this is Lisa Ray.
My name is Keith Robinson.
I am Camille Winbush.
My name is Jimmy Jean-Louis.
Hey, this is Wendy Raquel Robinson.
Hi, this is Matthew Johnson.
It's like a dream come true. And in a year where we've lost Rosa Parks last year and Coretta Scott King this year, it's just an amazing thing. So I'm just honored to be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ron Hasson, president of the Beverly Hills Hollywood branch of the NAACP, and Tia Boyd, executive director of the 26th annual NAACP Theater Awards. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to come again.
Thank you for inviting
Thank you.
us.
Ron, if we'd start with you, tell us about the history of the NAACP Theater Awards.
Ron, we have this is our 26th year with the NAACP Theater Awards. We were at one point a part of the Image Awards. The Image Awards split off and went to the national and left us, the local branch, with the Theater Awards.
Okay.
So we've been developing this Theater Awards for about 26 years. We've been very fortunate because our executive producer of the show, Ms. Boyd, has been with us for about 11 of those years, and she's helped to grow the program to what it is today. The beauty of it all is that the theater world locally and even across the United States have grown to appreciate the fact that we acknowledge and honor many of the thespians, both in local and equity productions. So we're just happy that at the end of 26 years, this being our 26th year, that we're able to continue doing the NAACP Theater Award.
And I like for the fact that you acknowledge for the record that the Beverly Hills Hollywood branch started the Image Awards.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Definitely.
we our branch, over the years had helped to create. There was what we perceived and know to be a lack of diversity in the industry. So with that lack of diversity, the Beverly Hills branch of the NAACP stepped in, and we began to work on bringing about some changes. If others could not ingratiate and honor us, then we thought that it was important for our branch, the Beverly Hills Hollywood branch, to honor and acknowledge those thespians both in motion picture and other art forms, and bring them in the forefront so that people could see all of the beautiful talent that existed in the African American world.
Would you tell our audience what's the value? You touched on it briefly, but what's the value of these awards? I mean, here we have the Tonys back on the East Coast. We got the Ovations here. We got a lot of theater awards here in Los Angeles, but there's only one NAACP Theater Awards. Where does that value take us?
Well, let's let Tia answer that question. Tia, because she deals directly with a lot of the celebrities, a lot of the nominees in that respect, and I think that she probably have heard much more than I have in terms of the community's feelings on the award show itself and the value of it.
Well, the feedback I get from the community is that the NAACP Theater Awards is a lot more inclusive than some of the other awards. And many of the thespians who are local, their plays don't have the budgets to be considered for a Tony Award, or that they're not in big theater houses. It gives those thespians a chance or a platform to be acknowledged for the work that they are out there every day doing. And we acknowledge them. We make sure that we go out and see their plays and their productions, and we highlight the ones that are really great.
Now that's I'm sorry, go ahead, Ron.
And Ron, it often comes back to us that it's viewed as our black Oscars. our opportunity. You know, many of these folks have chosen theater, performing arts as a career, and to know that our community is honoring them in the work that they've chosen and the craft that they're working on perfecting, and many have perfected it. So for our community, this is viewed, and not just our community, but the performing arts community as a whole across the United States, this is viewed as an opportunity for people to see many of the current actors and actresses, as well as those that are up and coming.
Right. And if I can just add, it's not even so much that I'm producing an award show for the theater community, because I'm relatively new at putting on productions and that type thing, or it started with this award show. A lot of the theater community, they help me do this award. They're very much involved. The productions come ready to go, and even right now, Jamie Ann Parker is putting together a production to be our opening production, which I'm very, very excited about. He and Lisa Humphrey, and there I go with the names. I'll come back with that name, okay? But I actually call a lot of thespians and people in the community who help me with making sure that we're acknowledging the right people, that we are putting on a show that's, a good show. I call Ova Bubatande often.
Oh, yes.
I call Ren Brown often, and I like that the theater community puts their arms around this production, this theater awards, and they make it their own.
Indeed, because when you talk to the actors and actresses in this town, as you know, they feel good. That's our show. That's a
Yes,
key
and
word.
it is.
Our show. Love when they say that.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
And it truly is
Truly
their
is.
show.
Truly is indeed. Can you talk about the selection process? Because I know members of the chapter have to go into all these theaters around town, see all these plays.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
We have a viewing committee that's very committed to going out every night. I mean, these are people who have jobs during the daytime, but they still make a commitment to go out and view the various productions. And to make sure, they go out, they view the various productions. We have an evaluation process where at the end of the viewing season, they sit down and they vet the various plays, and they come up with the nominees for each year.
Gotcha. Okay, now that's I understand. I know some of the members of your selection committee, and I asked them, "Why do you do this?" They said, "Because I love it.
Yes.
I love it."
And Ron, it's really true. They're looking at as many as 3 plays a week.
Wow.
Their season may include anywhere up to 65 plays. So there's a lot of theater that is going on, and I don't think people really realize how much theater actually exists in Los Angeles.
That's right.
We could easily see 85 to 100 plays if we saw all of the plays that come our way. But there is a selection process. The play has to run at least 5 times in order for us to then evaluate it. And with that in mind, we look at plays that the major characters in some respects are people of color, African Americans.
And like you say, you see this play has to run at least 5 times in the
Yes.
area. It's similar to the other plays, the big award shows. Nothing different.
Yes.
Right.
Same thing.
And we nominate in 2 categories, in the equity category and the local category.
Okay. Now, how many categories do you have this year?
We have 16 categories for nominations for the nominees. And then we also have 4 honorary categories.
Okay. Who are some of the honorees this year, if you can mention their names?
Yes, I'd love to. We are honoring Joe Morton with the Lifetime Achievement Award. I'm so excited about that. I love his characters.
People love him. They love him.
Brother from Another Planet.
Yes, ma'am. Scandal.
And Scandal, yes.
Yes.
Also, LaTanya Richardson Jackson is
Sam's
getting
wife.
Sam's wife.
Yes,
She's getting
all right.
the Trailblazer Award. And Letticy is getting the Spirit Award.
Okay.
And then we're honoring Rory Pullens with LAUSD. He's Executive Director of the Arts Program with the Humanitarian Award.
Super, super.
Yeah.
I know those are hard decisions to make. Hard decisions.
They are. Each
Yes.
year we are trying to make sure that we acknowledge thespians who are that have really created a footprint in the industry, and the newcomers also. And right now our focus is trying to be more inclusive in terms of Broadway and the East Coast. So we're trying to reach out and bring people here who are doing doing theater on the East Coast or other areas.
Got you. Now, I understand that the competition overall gets keener and keener.
Yes, it
every
does.
year.
It does, because the theater is getting better and better, and I think that Black people are able to have productions. They're able to produce their own shows more and more, and we're just getting a wider variety of plays to choose from. Yeah.
Gotcha. And of course, the cost of plays is getting crazy.
It's very well. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not producing any plays.
It
so-
is. And just speaking on that topic, our categories include local plays as well as equity plays. And of course, that local play is the 99-seat theater in most cases. And some of the local plays may be smaller theaters than 99-seat. But the fact is that those individuals, Hollywood is the home of theater in the eyesight of many people. So the opportunity to come to Hollywood and do many of the plays that you that may be a part of you, and have it grow into something that can find its way to Broadway or off Broadway is certainly a dream of many of the individuals who enter into that profession. Understanding that in Los Angeles, the motion picture theater world is one of the 7 major industries that exist, in the Los Angeles area. So this is a home for many people who have that dream. They want to be successful at that dream. They come to Hollywood, and they come at some point hope that an award show like the AACP Theater Awards is where they will land, and invite their friends and parents to then move forward from there.
Excellent. As you know, over this past weekend, we had a chance to be at the Inner City Cultural Center. They had an event this weekend, and Ron and some of the other people, and they were talking about the fact that this is a training ground for those who want to become and get into the films. I said, I never thought about it that way. But that's true. It's what it is, a training ground. Yeah. Okay. Can you please tell us who's going to host the show for you this year?
Okay, Wendy Raquel Robinson is hosting the show with Miguel Nunez.
Okay. How'd you get both of them to do the job?
Well, Wendy's been a part of our theater awards for many, many years, and she's a huge supporter of our branch of the NAACP. And Miguel has also been, a part of the show, when he can. And I basically just called and asked. And they both said, absolutely, yes.
And Wendy has a performing arts group locally, where she works with the young people and help to develop them in their acting and performing arts career. So one of the pieces that is going to be a part of our show this year is that we're inviting through Los Angeles School District 400 young people. So having a number of those young people that are coming to see people in the various crafts that is a part of what they envision themselves being at some point is it's a good thing. We believe it's a good thing. And Wendy has always been a part of that world. So we're happy to know that we can get her here and have her be a participant in that respect, and continue to encourage these young people in the crafts that they've chosen.
Okay, thank you.
Part of that, we're doing a creative arts festival at Dorsey on Friday, November 18th, and we're inviting professionals in various, industry disciplines. Let me see if I can get this right, okay? We have different actors coming in. We have artists coming in, choreographers, and we're having something we're entitling A Conversation With. And we'll have a panel of people who are going to speak to the students about how their careers, how to choose your career, and how to be successful at your choices. after the conversation with, we have Richard Lawson, who's coming in to do his workshop, how to achieve your dreams.
Good choice. Great
Yes.
choice. Yeah.
So these master classes, we believe that they will offer something to these young people that will carry them into their careers. There are 11 performing arts schools in Los Angeles, and so we've selected students from those performing arts schools that it's going to be like a field trip day for them to come and hone in on their crafts and see those masters in those crafts doing it. Tia has been working with the LAUSD for the past 6 months, and so she's learning a lot about LAUSD, learning a lot about the students, learning a lot about the schools that offer these
We've
programs.
actually worked with LAUSD prior to. We've done anti-bullying events on campus and brought in mental health professionals and other celebrities to talk to the kids about their own experiences growing up. So the kids kind of know they're not alone and, it's happened and you can still become successful.
Okay. Now, for those of you in our audience who have never seen this show, take a look at this video and tell me what you think.
One more year. One more, right? Got it going.
This is not about a play. Yes, we love theater and arts and all that, but this is real because there are lives that need to be touched, there are lives that need to be changed, and there's people that need to make a difference.
So sorry, Christopher, that he's making us late. You remember how to leave.
Much nice, Judge.
Look at yourself. Right now, you're learning how to write. You're doing a damn good job.
This discussion will go on until the American people shall make character and not color the criterion of respectability. This discussion will go on. That was a rapper, Brother Frederick Douglass, from 1818 to 1895.
How many flyers you hand out?
I handed out the right small amount of flyers and I got tired. I got tired, so I stopped handing them out.
I'm just here to buy some Easter shoes for my daughter.
You got to have some trouble if you cross the line and walk into
You want to hit old Sergeant Waters, boy?
Now, that's what you call a show. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're talking about. Who has the most nominations this year?
Well, Motown the Musical, in equity, Motown the Musical has 11 nominations. The Gospel at Colonists has 6 nominations. And in the local category, I believe it's Dreamscape has 6 nominations, and Keena Ferguson's Unbranded has 5 nominations.
That's great. That's super. That is super. People come to have fun and enjoy themselves and see who's going to get the awards. What's the location this year for the event?
It's at the Saban Theater in Beverly Hills.
Okay. I'd like to ask a dream if I would. Don't want to put you on the spot. Would you like to one day have a place that people can always come to see the NAACP Theater Awards?
Yes, I would.
Yeah, let me add to that. We've grown. The Saban seats 1,600 people, and so we've grown over the years. We've been in 400. At one point, we were in 400-seat theater. Then we went to 800-seat theater, and now we're in a 1,600-seat theater. So the show itself has grown, and we've grown with it. The interesting thing is, at one point, we did the show at the Vision Theater. And it was a great show the year we were at the Vision. And it, as they continue to work on improving the Vision, or remodeling, I should say, I believe they're going to end up having about 900 seats.
Excellent.
So we hope to return again. Although we may have outgrown it, we hope to return again. And
I'm still looking forward to going back to the Vision.
Yeah. And of course, we've done some programs in the Nate Holden Theater. So we've selected a number of theaters. In fact, one year we did it at the old Kodak Theater, which is now the Dolby Theater.
Theater.
Yes. So
that was by far the the biggest challenge with the theater awards was.
Okay. Now, it costs, I don't need to tell you guys this, because you know it costs a lot of money to put on a show like this. So ticket sales helps. How can I get a ticket?
A Ticketmaster.
Okay.
And at the Savon Theater, you can get the tickets online at Ticketmaster, and you can also go to our website, which is naacptheaterawards.com, and you can get tickets there.
Okay, all right.
Now, they're also on sale at the Saban from 11 to 6.
At the box office?
At the box office.
And that's on Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills?
That is at the box office,
Okay.
yes. So you can make a phone call to the Saban. There are actually 3 locations that they have.
Gotcha.
But you can call them, and they will be able to sell you tickets as you call in.
All right. Now, Tia, I always like to say give credit where credit is due. My dear, you've been in that seat for 10 years. You and Ron have been there doing it for a long, long time. What does it do for you guys? What does it mean to you guys?
When I started helping produce the NAACP Theater Awards, I did know a lot about theater. I've learned a lot, and through theater, I think I've learned a lot about Black history, and that's been fulfilling for me. Even when I'll see a play that's about a point in our history, and I become more interested in what happened during that time, and I actually do the research myself to figure out how close our truth was in the play.
Gotcha. Now, we got a new whole generation of actors and actresses. Tell us what y'all think about those. We call millennials, that word?
The actors now, I think that they are less concerned about if it's perfect or if it's right, and you see a lot more of their soul and their, you see them. Like, they're not acting based on what they were taught. Mm-hmm. They're acting from within, mm-hmm. and I like that. Mm-hmm. I like that they're not as afraid to be seen.
Okay. Ron, what do you think, sir?
Well, you know what? That's a very good question. A lot of what I've seen is that what I see is that those individuals that are part of theater have an appreciation, particularly if they've been a part of performing arts and theater, particularly for a very long time. We've had some people call us up and literally cry over the fact that they are being recognized by their own. That in the many years that they participated in the craft, that here we are as a stage full of African Americans and other people. It's not all African Americans, but acknowledging and appreciating the work, the time, the efforts that they've put into theater. Some of our seasoned actors and actresses have traveled around the world and have performed for people around the world, and have had a host of different audience. But often they'll come back and say there's nothing like coming home to your own people, of having your own crowd of folks standing there, shouting and applauding you. And we think that this year, as we have for the last couple of years, having them perform in front of young individuals who want to be the next generation of actors and actresses is an outstanding piece that we see. I mean, it's always good when what they say flattery is when other people pick up your craft and kind of work with you in terms of being able to emulate what you have done. Yes. So it's just a great thing to be able to know that we can continue that art of theater in Los Angeles, because many people see black theater as a dying art, as something that does not get the credibility out there that it should be. And of course, we've grown out of what used to be known as the Chitlin circuit to what is now urban theater. Yes. That's a term that tends to be used more often now when we think in terms of theater. And we've seen just in our community the David Talberts grow into television productions and now doing movies and whatnot, and how well we remember when he was a starving artist, you know, trying to get his crafts together and moving forward. So those kind of stories and those kind of people that really come before our young people that come out into the audience gets a chance to see, I think are the true living stories that we're happy. When I say we, NAACP Beverly Hills branch, are happy that we can produce these kinds of shows to help the people see we're real human beings. We followed our crafts. We're doing what we like doing, and we know that, and we can now know that the people that are watching this can appreciate it and enjoy what we've chosen as their crafts.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you. That's so true. Again, if you can recap date, place, and time for the NAACP 26th Annual NAACP Theater Awards.
Where are we doing it at, Tia?
The Savon Theater in Beverly Hills, California, November 21st. Red carpet starts at 5:30 p.m. and the show starts at 7 o'clock p.m.
Okay, and how can I get those tickets again?
Ticketmaster, Savon Theater, or NAACPTheaterAwards.com.
Well, listen, I know you're going to be there, and I'm going to be there myself, but we want to thank you very much for all the work
Thank
that
you
you guys
so
have done
much.
for so many years.
Thank you. That's very, very nice of you. I
Couldn't have
appreciate
to a
it.
better person. That
Thanks.
is a great show. Everybody comes out with their Sunday go-to-meeting clothes on, and it's fun. You get a chance to see folks you ain't seen in a long time.
I think most people are a little surprised when they get there, and we have a caterer, and it's all laid out, and the food is good, and and then you get a wonderful show.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
An evening of theater is just a great thing. So to be able to offer that to our community, to give them an opportunity to come out and enjoy themselves, all these young people that stand there with their hairbrushes in their hands and, want to be singers, want to be dancers, now have an opportunity to see people who have honed in on their crafts and to let you know that can be you at some day standing on that stage. So we encourage everyone to come out. It's a great evening of theater and performances. The price is right.
Price is right.
So we've tried to keep it so that it's affordable for everyone. So thank you for letting us be able to have people know more about this show.
Yes.
And thank you for always being there for us and participating.
Anytime.
And I have to take this opportunity to incorporate your help again this year in announcing the show.
It's always a pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, I love to say that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All
Good to see you. Good to see you, my dear. Ron, thank you very much, sir. Always a pleasure. God
So
bless
is
you.
that a yes?
That's a yes.
Okay,
That's a
thank
hell
you.
yes.
Okay.
Wouldn't have it no other way. Thank you both very, very much. Enjoy your day.
Oh, thank
so
you,
much.
Ron. Thank you for having us here.
Definitely. My next guest is an actor and producer. He's also the founding member of Stage Walkers Production. It's a multi-award-winning LA-based stage company. As both artistic director and managing producer, he and his company have received over 20 LA Theater Award nominations, with wins that include 2 NAACP Theater Awards and 2 LA Stage Alliance Ovation Awards. If you would, please welcome Mr. A. Russell Williams. Russell, thank you so much for coming,
Hey,
sir.
brother, how you doing?
Oh, we're happy to have you here.
I'm good.
And I want to thank your publicist up front. She has a tendency to go out and dig out, get good folk.
Man, I was at Cynthia's birthday party.
Yes.
A couple of weeks ago, and I was just telling her I don't really go anywhere.
Really?
I have 2 kids, and right now I'm a single dad right now.
Right.
But I still don't leave them hanging in any aspect.
Gotcha.
And I'm the soccer dad, and all of that.
Yes, I've had kids, yes.
Yeah. So, and I love
Yes.
it. I love it all. But I was telling her that I get very few invitations.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because I don't make myself available. I have to be honest there. Okay. But then again, I'm not. I come home, make and put it on the table. I don't hang a lot. I have my dalliances. I like martinis and a good cigar from time to time. I go to
Nothing wrong with that.
I do what I got to do. But I was at her party, and I saw some people I hadn't seen before, and we struck up a conversation. And I guess Cynthia and I have been in the same radar space for a couple of years by virtue of NAACP Awards in the theater that I produced here. So you know, I'm out, and this is I'm kind of honored to be. I hadn't seen Tia. Oh my God, I hadn't seen her and Ron in a while.
Yes. Are you going to be at the event this year?
You know what? I hope so.
Good.
And then again, I'm hoping there's something that won't allow it. But
I understand.
you know, I'm gonna put that. You know, I'm just gonna let the universe take care of that.
It's like when we do this show, sometimes actors at the last minute they can't make it, and,
Man.
and they say, "Oh man, don't worry about it. You working, man."
Yeah,
That's
right. Listen.
Working,
Listen. Of course, I'm happy about it.
Because we had an actor coming in the other day. He was a character actor, and he was telling us about how the big ones, the A-listers, they might do 2 movies a year. He says he does a lot of movies a year.
You have to. You have to. Right. I know a couple of brothers and some women actors who are. It's so funny. They're the ones that you see all the time. You don't quite know who they are.
Right.
You know, I get that from time to time. You look like, you know what I mean? And but you see them all the time, and they're constantly working. And that's, I heard you speaking earlier about the youth and how they're coming along and their abilities and their input and their view and perspective of this craft. Okay. And it's interesting for them to learn that there is a career in this business. Now, it is difficult.
Yes, it is.
I'm not going to tell you anything else. It is difficult, but there's a career here besides being the A-list marquee player. There's theater, you know, around the country regionally. There's commercials. Some people don't like to mix the two, but a lot of actors do, you know, because it's about Morgans and milk, you know. So
That's
there's a real, that's real, and you do it all, and you know, Uber and bartend and do whatever. But you know what is that thing? If you love what you do, you look forward to Mondays.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
exactly.
You know. And so that makes us, we're all happy at what we do, but it is a difficult craft, and I think the young ones coming up have a lot of respect for their talent. I like what Tia said about they're so open. You know, there's also something to be said about study and discipline.
Gotcha.
Right, because the art, the craft, if you will, it has its own thing. You know, and there's different disciplines, you know, different methods and what have you. But I think the one that I learned from my friend and mentor and long-time August Wilson confidant was Claude Purdy. He would always talk to me about teatro real, you know, theater of the real.
Yes.
Just tell the truth.
Right.
If you believe it, Roscoe Lee Brown said, if you believe it, they believe it.
Gotcha.
You know, so that's part of all the study, of all you do, of all the places you go, and I've traveled the world and I've done, and I've had the stages that the previous guests spoke about, and you know, proud to have done it.
Yes, you have traveled the world.
Yeah, and you know,
I read your resume, man. You've been everywhere.
You know what? And that's just me.
Gotcha.
Right. I know some people make me ball that one up. Right. But I respect it, man. Gotcha. I respect every aspect of it, because every time out, you know, whether it's one person or 1,000 people, is an opportunity to perform and to share and tell a story. And you never know, man. You can have 500 people in the audience and they don't get it.
Right.
You can have one couple out there and you've touched them.
You've touched them, yes.
You know what I mean? Their story was reflected on stage, and a lot of times we get to do in 2.5, 3 hours more than some people do in 3 months.
Gotcha.
We do it.
Right.
You know, we're storytellers, man, and I'm proud of it. And I'm proud to see the young ones coming up, and all the writing is being done now.
Yes. See,
that for a while there's been the limitations.
Gotcha.
You know, but right now, and it's the quality of writing.
Yes.
You know, it's the quality of writing too, and so yeah, it's phenomenal, man. I'm proud to still be in it.
Now you started. You were born in Huntsville, Texas.
Man, I am.
But you grew up in Houston.
Yeah, I am red dirt country, man. Huntsville's at 422 7th Street. I grew up right behind. We were living right behind the Walls unit.
Gotcha.
In the flats, right, which is right behind the prison. You know, literally from here to Roscoe's from the prison.
And you were a prison guard too.
I did that. For a matter of fact, that's how I came into this business. I was quitting and getting fired all at the same time.
Wow.
You can choose whichever one makes sense for you. And I have a friend of mine in Houston, Al Freeman, longtime friend. He took me to an audition at the Ensemble Theater in Houston.
Right.
Yeah, and I thought I was going to get married and everything. Man, I was all over the place. Took me to an audition. I landed this part, that he was trying to get. He got another one. It was, I think it was 5 on the Black Hand Side.
Okay.
Yeah, and we did it, and it was really good and experience, but I got the bug.
Yes.
And a brother who was the director of this play, you talked about the Chitlin Circuit, The Diary of Black Men.
Right.
He came in and he said, listen, man, we have a guy who can't make it. Right. This is how raw it was then. Right. We got a guy who can't make it. We're going to Philly. We're going to play Walnut Street Theater. Can you go?
Yes.
And I was still working at the prison. I had a couple of rehearsals. I came in, I had blood on my shirt. I came in, I'll never forget when I met the cast. We'd had a riot or something was going on. And I came in my first day of rehearsal. And before you knew it, it was 3 days of rehearsal. I was on the plane to Philly. And the rest is history. I toured with the Diary for years. I've produced it. I've taken it to London.
Yes.
And that's how I got my start in the Chitlin Circuit. And we were out there.
Yes.
Selling out everything. Matter of fact, I met August Wilson because of
I was
going
to ask you, when did you meet August Wilson?
I'd done the Diary for a while.
The Diary, okay.
Right, and we went all over. And again, matter of fact, I think the first NAACP Theater Award went to The Diary of Black Man as a play.
Gotcha.
You're right. It was really cool. And that was back, my God, must have been 85, 86 or something. There was a play that was being done at the, and I knew of August, but I never met him and never had any inclination that I would be part of that, because you're talking about equity and you're talking about local theater. And I was just content to be doing that. Yeah. I played ball in school. When you get hurt, you can't play anymore, and you're still missing that, your name being called and all that. That's, if nothing else, that's the vanity that you miss. And there was an audition, and it was an audition for Joe Turner's Come and Gone. And Roscoe Lee Brown, James Craven-Clark was directing, and Teresa Merritt. No, that was Ma Rainey. So I needed a guitar for this. I had a friend, Daryl Taylor, who was a bassist. He was part of the group. He was part of the thank you, sir. He was part of the 3-piece band that traveled with the Diary.
Gotcha.
I went by, I said, Daryl, I think this guy plays a guitar.
Gotcha.
And he says, man, I have an old acoustic. I'll tell you where I was. I didn't even know it was called acoustic.
Yes.
Excuse me. So he gave it to me. He showed me this blues chord, like E, whatever. And I drove to the audition with the guitar in front. I had a green Gran Torino. And I drove there with my fingers on the, on the chord. And I went in and walked in the audition. And Claude was there, August was there, and how it turns out, I go in, I hit the little chord, I do my monologue.
And this is all back in Texas?
All back in Houston at the Alley Theater.
Got you.
Man, I don't even introduce myself. That's how bad I was, right? But I knew I wanted to do it. August was in the room, everybody laughed, it worked, and I got the gig. Subsequently, because August and Claude had such a long relationship, which is a whole nother show that I really would love to tell you about that at some other time. But I kind of stayed in the loop. And I did Ma Rainey. Yeah, matter of fact, I had moved to New York by that time, and I got Ma Rainey, and then
you went to D.C. first.
I went to D.C. to study. And, I'm gonna tell you, listen, my association, theater is. The stories you guys were having with theater and what it does for youth and our culture, and then the networking that goes on. Roscoe Lee Brown was in Joe Turner. He played Bonham, incredible. He said to me, Russell, you're going to need to learn, because he knew I was raw. I played ball, worked at a prison, from Huntsville. I was happy. Life was okay, but this craft I went into, and I got in basically, I got to tell you, personality and desire. Okay. I learned as I went. I didn't study the craft. I am, or if the Creator had a plan for me, I had no idea what it was. I did not know. And so he said, you're going to need to study classical theater. It's going to be good for you. They're having this auditions at the Folger Theater in D.C. The auditions had been up for a while, so I had to do mine on videotape. And I sent it in. Michael Kahn, who was artistic director of Juilliard. He was also head of the Folger Theater in D.C. I sent it in. They accepted the tape. They accepted me. 6 quote-unquote actors of color. They do this every year, every 2 years or whatever. It's an intensive, and you go and you study, there's a little stipend or whatever. But I went in with people who, I don't know if they were just brushing up on their classical theater or whatever. Man, I was the project. I knew when I walked in and I heard everybody speaking and the language, and it was the Alexander method and poetry and all the things that went with that I had no idea. I had no idea. It came through the ensemble. We were doing good, raw, strong work, telling stories, but the detail and the study and the methods and the respect for the craft, I didn't have it. Respect for the craft. Respect for the craft. That's another thing you learn. And I learned that. Then I started to learn the business of the business. Okay. So that's another monster that, and we were talking about the youth earlier. That's another thing I learned. I learned it from Claude. I learned it from Lou Bellamy at the Penumbra Theater. I learned it Marion Clinton and August himself. I was fortunate. Yes. I've been fortunate, man. And the relationships and the friendships that I've had and what they afforded me to do in this business has just been incredible. So I got into D.C. I got into the Folger. I studied, bought a bicycle. I had a box of clothes and had a TV, and I wasn't going back to Houston. Okay. I got on that bus going to New York City, and I'd already been there once because the Diary had gone. We played Town Hall Theater. We had an extended run for like a year up on the Upper West Side, the Masters Theater.
That was fun.
With the Diary?
Oh, yeah.
It was incredible because we were coming through in the 80s, and the times were very interesting. The subtitle of that play was How Do You Love a Black Woman? No sexual connotations, no innuendo. It was about honor. It was about respect. It was about being accountable, as black men. And
can I stop you there?
Yes, sir,
because there's a video that we've got that shows the emotion of what you're talking about, a black man and a black woman. One of the films that you did, and from what I understand, this film was, let me get my notes here, it was a 2016 Emmy Award consideration, Outstanding Lead Actor in a limited series of movies as Reverend Clinton Hines in Runaway Island.
Yeah.
Where have you been?
Out.
Out where?
Walking.
All day?
Yes, all day.
Clinton, we need to talk.
Wanda, I'm tired. Let's just talk in the morning.
This can't wait. Every day I avoid having this conversation with you is another day we grow further apart.
Wanda,
No. We talk now. Why don't you want to be around me, Clinton?
Baby, that's not it.
It is. Detroit's one thing. You have parishioners to visit, church business to attend to, but we're on an island, Clinton. And you still find a way to avoid me. So, it's not because you're busy. It's obvious you don't want to be around me.
Yes.
That was beautiful, my brother.
She.
Oh yeah. Talking about emotion.
It's interesting.
Woo!
The continuation of that scene just gets like very explosive.
Yes.
And very telling. Diane Houston, who I think, if I'm correct, was the first African-American female being nominated for an Oscar as a director.
Okay, as a director, yes.
And I think it's in the short category. It was called Tuesday Morning, but she directed that film. It was a TV1 film, and TV1 was wanting to, part of what they were doing was kind of raising the bar in terms of the quality of content. And a young brother wrote that script, and very talented cat. It needed some things, but he won this thing. They have an annual thing, that contest that TV1 does, and if you win it, you get your script produced and televised, what have you. But that thing took on a life of its own. and we went down to Alabama, and we shot that. And that house was so interesting how this works. That house been around since the 1800s. It was rebuilt because there was a storm that took it out some years ago, but it was owned by the Krispy Kreme family. Big, gigantic house. In Alabama, it was so many things that were so moving about that. In Alabama, we were on Mobile Bay. We were standing, and this is what moved me so much about it, and I kind of incorporated that into the work. We were literally on a graveyard. You can pretty much say most places in the South. Graveyard, plantation. Literally on the water, Mobile Bay. We were at the bay, Fairhope, Alabama, where the last slave ship Clotilda, the last one came to the United States. Last one. And it came on a bet. Slavery had already supposedly been, it was illegal. But this guy, businessman, he bet his friends that he can get a ship full of slaves. Right. That's my word. He chose another. But he under the nose of the police or the authorities or whatever. It was a bet, like $1, $10, something like that. And he won. But those slaves formed what we now know to be, it's called Africatown in Mobile. It's still there, right? And so I was taking all of that in and the whole thing, and this is sister you just saw, Erica Tazzle. I had known of her for a while. I'd seen her work, knew who she was. And because things came together so quickly, had no idea who was going to be in the cast. Some people were available, some weren't. But when I saw that she was there, I was taken because, again, I knew her work, I knew her study, NYU, everything else. Pretty much everywhere I go into situations where people are trained and studied.
Yes.
So I go in there, the sponge, open-minded, I try to get what I can from it. But what I get was what she was giving. Because very good, very generous actor. And sometimes, sometimes we're trying to tell our story as opposed to the story. Diane was incredible. And that moment right there, we were having a discussion. I was a minister. Yes. We'd lost our daughter. And I'd lost my faith. And that's what that scene is about. And we go to this island and to have this vacation and get away to church, helped us out and everything. And we were trying to find our way. And she couldn't figure out what it was because she could not for the life of her understand why, or not understand, but believe that I would be so selfish to think about my loss and not her loss and our loss. So in all of this explosion of emotions, I think we come to an understanding that, yes, I've lost a daughter, but I'm about to lose a wife and my life and my soul because I'm just only thinking about me. Gotcha. And what that allowed to do, that allowed the minister to be human.
Right.
To be a man outside of...
Which we need to see. Because the cloth
they're
comes
men.
Right, they're men.
They're men. They're women also. In this case, they're men.
Yes.
They're human beings, and they hurt.
Yes.
And they love, and they laugh. But it wasn't working there for him. And that particular moment, I never forget that. I was walking around. I was still on my script, and because that's how close we were. Rewrites were going on at night and things. And but what was beautiful about it is a story that was told, and that was the first day of work.
Okay.
We met, I think, a day ago.
Okay.
We had a couple of walks, the day before, and we kind of talked about it. But that was something you can't talk about. That you just have to do it.
Gotcha.
And it happened, and that's where I guess that's where experience and truth comes in.
Okay.
Yeah, she's very talented.
Okay.
Very
Two
talented.
words.
Yes, sir.
August Wilson.
Brother, let me say this to you. There are a lot of people who have a lot of stories and anecdotes and whatever about their history with August. and I respect them all.
Gotcha.
Because his work has made careers.
Yes, it has. I see that Fences is coming up to Christmas with
Denzel
Washington.
I can't wait.
And Olivia, who's your lead? Viola Davis. Yes.
Now, you talk about a man-woman relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I originally saw, and what Denzel and Viola are doing is just, it's not fair. Right? Some of us are actors, and then some of us are artists, and then there are those.
Wow.
And I'm a fan. I give it up to all. But that thing that she does, and she's been in the Wilson camp since, I think I started about the time she did some years earlier, but I was doing regional. She had New York in the palm of her hand.
Gotcha.
She's that good. But this thing that they're doing, I can't wait to see it, because that relationship,
yes,
Troy and Bernie, whew.
Yes.
And if it comes off, and I think it will, because the trailers look really good. I'm sorry. If that thing jumps off like it does on stage,
Oscar buzz.
There's a brother in there. I'm going to tell you this. There's a brother in there named Stephen Henderson, Dr. Stephen Henderson. And you talking about Oscar buzz?
Mm-hmm.
Stephen's been in the camp a long time. He's been in the camp a long time, all the way back to Raising the Sun and Negro and something. Steve's been around a long time, but I'm going to tell you something. What he's about to do is just to his career. He's a professor. He's got his doctorate, and he never says it. Stephen Henderson is just, he could be sitting right here. And he's just a good guy. There are some things, good things happen to good people.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Henderson is the epitome of a Wilsonian, as am I. We rented the same apartment in Mike Hodges' brownstone in Harlem. He was up there, and I was on the other end of it, and I just moved to New York and grinding, and we knew of each other. We missed each other in a Wilson play, I think, somewhere in New York, upstate. But we knew of each other. And to talk about August is one thing. But, Ron, you have to talk about the people that you've met on your Wilson journey. Because what it did for their lives, how Wilson had his thumb, if not his ear, on the pulse of black culture. He wasn't the only one. In reality, he was the one they let through.
Gotcha.
There were others.
Yeah.
But he was open to discussing the fact that there were others.
And you have the distinction of having done all 10 of his plays.
I've done 7.
7, okay.
I've done 7. I've consulted and produced on others.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've done, and of course, I've produced the ones here and in Houston and what have you. But you can't talk about Wilson without talking about the people, because he, for instance, founder of with Lou Bellamy and Claude of Penumbra Theater in Minnesota. August was washing dishes. He had a 9th grade education on paper, but in here, beyond deep. He got it. He got the language. He knew we were all those characters. I would say 90% of them all were people that he grew up, with in his neighborhood. Matter of fact, one of the favorite plays that I like is Jitney, and I played Youngblood. That's what they called August. Hey, Youngblood. Everybody would call him in that neighborhood, right? Founding that theater, he moved. Claude said, "Hey, listen, man, you got to move from Minnesota." No, I'm sorry, from Pittsburgh, which is where they were, right, to Minnesota, to look back at your world so you can write it, because August was a poet, strong, coming through civil rights, mid-'60s, late 60s, in the movement. And he and Claude hooked up, and it was a great relationship. And I'm saying all of this for this particular reason. One of the last things that August said to me, and I said it, matter of fact, Tia was there, I was receiving this NAACP award. It was at the Kodak or somewhere we were getting the theater. And I said that I wanted to share something with Claude that he had never heard before. And August said this to me. He said, Russell, because I said, tell me about Claude. Tell me that relationship. I've known you guys a while, and I just don't know everything. He said, Russell, I got to tell you, I would be August as you would be Russell. But I would not be the August Wilson that you know were it not for Claude Purdy. That's who Claude was.
Right.
So to answer your question, August Wilson, who is he?
Yeah.
He is pretty much everybody that's come through there.
Okay.
And is as humble and as he could be.
Okay. You, Russell Andrews, I had to work. I know you've worked with a lot of actors in your time, and doing my research for this interview today,
here we go.
I found an actor who has a special thought about you. Can you show that slide? Sir?
Oh man!
Can you show that slide, please? No, that one. No, not that one. That's someone else. That's a friend of mine, Bill Shearer.
Hey, Bill.
Can you show the one of an actor making a statement?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good friend of mine, Bill Shearer, who passed away. I was going to say something about him. He's a long-time friend of mine.
Yeah?
Yeah, but there's an actor who had a statement to make about you. Yes, and when I saw it, I said, I have to ask Russell if this is the one. But while he's loading that up, you reloaded, Kate, when you came here to L.A., you got into film. What do you like to do best? Theater, film, television?
Ronnie, let me tell you something, Mr. Brunson. If I could eat on a regular, I'd do theater.
Okay. All right.
I do theater.
Like you said, if I could eat.
if I could eat on the regular, right? Well, now hold on. That don't mean I'm eating on the regular doing TV either, right? Because it's all, it's feast and famine sometimes. When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's, wow. But I would do theater. I love it. It's a different audience every night. You never know what you're gonna get. And then there's some truth and some trust with the actors on stage.
Okay.
You ready, live.
Okay, here we go. Take a look what this guy says. I just made a film with this actor, A. Russell Andrews, and am blown away by his work. He is pure gold. I haven't met an actor with his range and power since I first worked with Denzel. Signed by the lady you just talked about, Diane Houston. When I saw it, I said, we got to play doing this interview today.
Diane Houston.
Yeah, a lot of people think a lot about you, brother. You're young, you've been there, you've got a fantastic career that's behind you.
You know what, man? And that's interesting. That's interesting because, in reality, we care about what people think about our work.
Sure.
We like to say we don't know it's about the work. Yeah, truthfully, it is, but in that deeper sense, there's something about validation that we want. And with regard, we need. We need. So much of what we do, we give it up on stage. We commit to the work. We go in and audition, and we prepare for days for this particular part that we know we're perfect for. We look the part, we do, and we go in and we put it on the table. We said, I'm the best you're going to see today. And that casting director says, no, you're not. But it's okay.
Yes.
But the reality of it is where people get up and go back to their 9 to 5s or their jobs or careers or whatever, Tuesday morning, we have to go back Monday night after whatever that was, create something else.
Gotcha.
And now go in another room Tuesday and now be prepared to give that some truth, tell that story. So in a sense, we make believe for a living, but there's an earnest and just commitment to the work.
Gotcha.
And to have those words, and you got to understand that this is, that obviously that's the aftermath, of the work, and I think I was the last one hired on that film, Runaway Island.
Wow.
And she didn't even know me.
And you got the nomination.
There was some other things that came in there, but I did get that consideration, as did a couple of others. But again, I was the last one in. She happened to be helping a friend edit a short that I was in.
Right.
And so Aaron Veer, she asked, who is that? She said, he was in I got to find the guy and bring him in.
Right.
I go through, and one thing leads to another, Kim Harden's office, and I'm there. Because I was submitted, and I wasn't of the choices. Gotcha. Because again, I'm the guy, I'm doing all right. I mean, I got a mortgage, but I'm not that regular face.
Right. But that's the way the business operates. That's the way it is.
God, yeah.
We got time for one more question.
Let's go.
One of my favorite questions.
Okay. How
do you want to be remembered?
My what I call my religion is volunteering.
Okay.
I work with the Greater West Hollywood Food Coalition. I worked with the Children's Club over in Hollywood. I worked in penitentiary. I'm daily stopping on the street my Facebook and my Instagram, it's pictures of me and homeless cats.
Gotcha.
And when it's all said and done, man, like right now, people know me because of August. And they always associate me with August. I still get resumes and headshots and now emails, when you're going to do something.
Yes.
I don't know, man. When I have something says to do something, I'll do it, or produce something. But in terms of being remembered, man, just remember.
Got you. I wish we had more time to talk with you. God, I wish. We usually give you half an hour. We want you to come back again.
Oh, man, I'll come back. As a matter of fact, I told you.
Yes.
I'm going to try to make it to those awards, but I think I might have something to tell you next time I come back.
Okay. I'll be the watch.
It's out there now.
I'm the announcer. I'll be there. Ladies and gentlemen,
yeah,
please
brother.
take your seats. That's me over there.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you,
I'm
sir.
very proud and very honored to be here.
And it's a pleasure. We'll see you again.
We'll do it again.
Cynthia Busby, thank her very much.
Man, Busby Promotions.
Gotcha.
Yes.
LeBron, if you can put that picture back up again of the gentleman with the Vietnam hat on. I just want to take a moment. That guy right there, his name is Bill Shearer. He's my dear, dear friend. He passed away the day before my birthday. I just had a birthday on November 2nd. The gentleman passed away on November 1st. He will be remembered. He will not be forgotten. He did a lot for a lot of people. I just want to take a moment and just to thank you, Bill, for what you did for me and a lot of other people. You will be missed, definitely. I want to make special thanks to Ron Hasson, Tia Boyd, and A. Russell Andrews. I want to thank them for coming in today. And again, we always say, we'll see you next time.